Hey guys, this is Bridget, and today I wanted to tell you about the benefits I received from doing 30 minutes of meditation every day for 30 days straight. This is something that I hear from so many people, that there's like no time to meditate or it's hard to be consistent, and this has been the case for me. And I knew that it was time. I knew that it was time to let go of those beliefs, because it was time, and it is time for me to step into this greater level of myself, to be of service to you, to be of service to myself, to be of service to all the people around me. And I knew that this was the key, and this is something that I hadn't done consistently. So I wanted to go through how I made it consistent for me, so that you can implement those ideas and talk about the benefits that I received, so that it's more enticing, hopefully, but just kind of go through this whole conversation. So I've gotten away with not doing a deep, consistent practice because I have a very positive mindset, and my natural abilities that I was born with took me very far. But to go to this next level, I knew that I needed this. And in the past, I've been more of a spiritual binger, right? So I'll go for it. I'll freaking go for it and dive in, such as doing a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat where you meditate 12 hours a day in silence for 10 days straight. And for my first meditation experience, or I'll do Qigong. I did Qigong for an hour a day for 90 days straight, and then as well as, I did that twice in 1 year. So I did 180 days of an hour of Qigong. And so I go into these things, but then it's not consistent. And I'll let work or I'll let other things kind of be like, nope, that's the priority. I gotta get that done. Don't have time for meditation. And that had to stop. I just knew that it was time to go to this next level. And so the way that I went about this is I knew that I needed to do it consistently, but not from that approach that I was like, all right, let's do this. From this very kind of willful, kind of force, strong strength position, because that's the opposite of kind of meditation and spiritual practice. It's surrender into the space and just let go to make it happen, right? You don't actually need to make it happen. You just need to sit there and show up. So this approach was very different, and I just very kindly said that this is what I need for myself, and this is what I need for my life. And so that was my set intention for this, and where I let my mind, take a break and said, I'm doing this for 30 minutes. There's just nothing else. There's no thing more important. And so I just went for it. So I will get into the benefits in just a minute of what I experienced and some of the surprises that came with it. But to begin, I just wanted to get a little bit into what kind of meditations I was doing, so you can get an idea of why the benefits came. Because in the West, especially in New Age spirituality, it's all about visualization and manifestation and intention setting, and it's all still in the mental sphere, in this imagining sphere, which absolutely has its place in spiritual development and meditation. It's an active meditation, but one of the things that we don't do as much in the West is turn off the mind, just calm that down to where we are stilling the mind, or witnessing the thoughts, or in the space between thoughts. And that mindless space is where so much magic can take place, and that's where a lot of us need the development. That's where I needed the development. So I was doing some active meditation, visualization, very specific practices, but primarily it started with a lot of this receptive mind quieting meditation, and I found that the most beneficial because that's what I needed the most. And an example of this kind of meditation would be Zen meditation or Vipassana meditation, where you're quieting the mind, more Eastern forms of meditation. And so I highly recommend doing that, because that's where I received so much of the benefit. And then we can clearly harness the full power of our minds when we want to go into the active meditation. So some of the benefits and surprises that came up along the way. So I'll start with kind of the surprise, because as I started to get into this and was going for it, I could see that the food I ate, or maybe the movie I watched, or the extra work or Instagram I was on during the day definitely influenced my meditation. So I would meditate first thing when I woke up, and even though I had just been asleep and just woken up, I would still be processing. I could sense this processing of maybe the shows that I was watching or the Instagram, like internet clutter or those kinds of things. So I was very surprised by how much that influenced my ability to quiet my mind. And so then as I would see that come up in my meditations, I would be like, okay, let's turn off the Instagram. Let's be careful what we're watching. I eat really well, but I'm sure that the food also influences the mind state, especially like the stuff with the gut and gluten, etc. So there was this heavy influence of what was happening in the life, making it harder or making there more complexity, more mind spin than not. So that was really interesting, and so I was able to witness that. So that brings me to point number 2 benefit that I witnessed was self-awareness. So this was my time to stop and just bear witness to my energy field, to my mind, so that I could see what was going on. And once you can be present and see what's going on, then you can adjust it, right? And so this made me very aware of even things throughout, ooh, it's snowing in Sedona. Ooh, that's really fun. It doesn't snow here very often, and it just started snowing. That's really exciting. So in this space of self-awareness, throughout the day, if I had certain maybe engagements with certain people or certain energies, like I could feel how that affected me more. Because one of the things as an empath is sometimes you just kind of like spin through it or disassociate, but as you come into meditation, one of the things that it did too is it made me feel much more grounded and much more aware of my body and much more aware of my energy field. And so if things then affected it, I was aware of it, but then I had the presence to actually sit with it and to move the energy or adjust or sense how that made me feel and move out the energy, change it and transmute it a lot better. So it gave me the ability to feel more and the ability to work with the energy more. So as I kept going with this, there were off days and there were on days, but the more that I went on, the more momentum there was. And I actually woke up and I looked forward to meditating, and I looked forward to this moment of surrender, this moment where I could let go, this moment where I could take off my head and set it down and say, you go to sleep for a minute, and I'm just going to be here and tap into my eternity and tap into my spiritual connections. And so in this space, it started to feel really good to go into, to where my intention was no less than 30 minutes a day, but then I would end up going 40, maybe even 50 minutes sometimes, because it just felt that good. Now, that's one of the things too, is in the early days when I would do some intention setting meditation or whatnot, I would go for like 10 minutes. But the thing is like sometimes the mind takes 10-15 minutes to quiet down before you can actually get into the real beneficial cumulative effects of really feeling the energy in your etheric body and that strengthening of the spiritual energies that are growing. And so I could see that it was very important not to just go, okay, do my 10 minutes and I'm done, and actually go deeper into it. Now, the thing is sometimes maybe you don't have time, which we do have time, so we're not going to set that excuse anymore. But maybe you're just starting and you just want to start with 5 minutes, and that's great. Like, just start with 5 minutes, just start with 10 minutes. And the thing is the more that you build the momentum, the more that your mind will get quieter and you can get into that space more easily. So the funny thing is it actually needs more time in the beginning in a way, and then you get better at it. But the more time later leads to greater depth. So another interesting point that came about was I was less triggered. So I don't get super triggered, all the time or anything, but things come up and I might get like agitated, a little bit angry at someone in my life or like something that happened or Patrick or something like that. But I noticed that as I was doing the meditation, I could hold my state much better if circumstances in the reality were out of flow of what I would want. I was able to be more present and be more balanced and respond in a kinder way. So that felt so good, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is like key to being a kind and good person. So that was really helpful, and that was surprising. Same time, not surprising, but it was interesting how much more, again, like grounded in my own state and my vibration that I was to be able to respond to the environment. And that's one of the beliefs that like I've held for so long, which is like state of being matters, circumstances don't matter. But that concept right there takes a long time to actually become fully integrated, to where the vibration is the most important thing. And that's one of the reasons why I did this challenge with myself. It was more of a challenge so that it sounded cool for me to make this video, because I'm just gonna do it forever, like for the rest of my life, just continue meditating. But it sounded more interesting to be like 30 days. So just so you understand. So some of the other things that I experienced were this connection with my guides and my energetic body like never before. There's different ups and downs, right? In our journey, we have awakening, we have lots of contact, we have lots of stuff, and then it kind of goes down, and there's these ups and downs. And those are kind of like the natural, spontaneous movements of awakening that we go through, that is just kind of, it happens because this is awakening. And then there's another level of cultivation of connection, cultivation of spiritual depth. And this is like where the meditation takes you to the next level, and was taking me to the next level. Is I'm like, okay, let's really go there. It's not just because like I had, a genetic like upgrade or something and it did it. Like, I am intending to do it. And there's something so rich and beautiful about that. So that felt really good throughout. So a few of the other things, I was more relaxed, I was less anxious, more calm, more meditative. So I felt like all of those energetic experiences more in like a depth of my reality. And I also felt like, deep energetic effects. And I felt that when I did the Vipassana meditation retreat. It was crazy because you wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I am not like a 4:30 in the morning kind of person. And so I was like, after days and days of this, and it wasn't organic food that they were feeding me, I was like, I don't know if I'm like gonna get sick, because this isn't, like my normal health kind of like protocol of enough sleep or of healthy food. So I was kind of nervous like during the Vipassana meditation course. And then by the end, honestly, I was more healthy than ever. And that was one of those things where it's like, your vibration carries you over the physical sleep or the food. Because I was doing the meditation, it actually strengthens your etheric body to such a degree, which has the influence on the physical body and strengthens the immune system, that I was actually healthier from it. And I did feel that same feeling of resonance doing this 30 days that I felt during that Vipassana meditation. And again, this is why like it's not like a mind over matter kind of thing. It's like a full vibration with the mind over matter. And it would be the kind of thing that you want to include both. You actually do get the sleep, and you do get the healthy food, and you meditate, and then it just takes you to a whole nother level. So that was just an interesting thing that I've kind of like learned over my journey as well. I would be really curious as to what questions you have for me, or what you found works for you. I do want to read off a few of the benefits of meditation that I got offline through different studies, because I didn't read this before doing this, but I just wanted to see how they aligned like my own personal experience to what like the scientific studies say behind meditation. So I want to read those for you, but I also am curious. This is like slightly vlogish, it's like one set, which is kind of weird. I don't know. We're in a new place, and I'm trying to find like a cool set, but I wanted to know if you guys are interested in vlog kind of things. It would be more like dynamic with lots of shots and like more of like my daily life. Be curious if you'd be interested. Comment below if you would be, and I'll make some videos like that because it sounds fun. It sounds more like connective, more intimate and personal. So let me know if that's interesting. But now I want to read off this list from my unicorn book. I don't know, I'm kind of in a silly mood right now. I usually only show this part of my personality on Instagram story. Okay, so some of the key benefits scientifically of meditating are stress relief, which I definitely felt, anxiety relief, emotional health. So if we're emotionally healthy, that means we're emotionally balanced, less triggered. So I definitely felt that. More self-awareness, higher attention span. That one is so key, because Instagram and social media and like all this online stuff, we have super short attention spans. I'm talking to probably the wrong people right now because this is probably like 10 minutes into the video. So if you're still here after 10 minutes, you probably have the attention span. I probably should have said that in the first few minutes. But developing that ability to focus or also to release and not think, really important for us in spiritual development. Memory, it helps with memory loss, so it helps the memory, helps with kindness. These are all scientifically studied. I'll put the link in the description. Fights addictions, don't really have that. Improves sleep. Yeah, I mean, I felt more like activated in my sleep and more dreams, so that was cool. Less pain, don't really have pain. Lower blood pressure, don't have blood pressure. But anyway, so there's obviously lots of benefits. So see what you can do to integrate this into your life. Honestly, like it's like wake up, set a 5-minute timer on your phone. That's it, 5 minutes, you know. Whatever it is, if it's 10 minutes, great. If it's 15 minutes, great. But be consistent. Like we don't want to miss days. It's cumulative. Like it's this building energy. And I can feel very much so in different times. I was working on there were lots of different practices I was doing, so that's kind of a lot to get into in this moment. But there's these moments where our different energy centers, like they're like these flowers, right? And we're just like, the more energy and attention that we bring to them and the more surrender and opening that we allow, the more that they can open and bloom, right? So that it's like, like they want to open and emerge, but they need to kind of like have us bear witness and hold space for that emergence. And so in that energy field, we're in this space where we need to build that over time. And if we all of a sudden just like we skip out for a day and we go on with life, it's like this flower that didn't get watered, you know, that wanted some extra sun and energy and attention so that it could fully go to the next level. And so there's a subtlety and a depth to our energetic system, and meditation is key for this. And again, the quieting of the mind for particular meditation so that we can really let these spiritual channels and energies truly emerge. So I hope that you've enjoyed this meditation video and what I experienced over the 30 days. There's a lot more details and different contact things and different energy center things that happened to me, but for now I'm just going to keep it at that. And I encourage you to take up some meditation practice. It's so important in our world to counterbalance all the hyperactivity and intensity of daily life on Earth, 2018, almost 19. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. I'm doing videos at least twice a week now, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so be sure to come back. Join the family, hang out, and be sure to check me out on Instagram for daily updates, particularly on Instagram story. I'm not really into the Instagram posts, but the Instagram story I like. And right now you caught me at a really funny time. So yes, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.